tuning in to the Watchful News. My name is Tyrone Smith, and I will be your host for today. Today we're going to be talking about a man who changed the course of history, Dr. Martin Luther King. Today I have joining me on the show, Mrs. Bobby Johnson.
Good morning, Tyrone. We just want to pause right now and for the next 20 minutes or so and to talk about the legacy of Dr. King. Not so much of his death, but his legacy, his life, the power that he effected in the minds of America. I've been collecting Dr. King memorabilia, his speeches and his cassettes, his video cassettes, his anything written or spoken by him since I was 7th or 8th grade. I remember coming home from school when I was in elementary school and seeing his picture on the news and watching him march and seeing how the people were so enthralled in his melodic tone and his inspiring words. He had kind of a rhythm when he spoke. Listen at this speech from Street Sweeper.
Challenge that we face is to be ready to enter these doors when they open. Ralph Waldo Emerson said in a lecture back in 1871 that if a man can write a better book, or preach a better sermon, or make a better mousetrap than his neighbor, even if he builds his house in the woods, the world will make a beaten path to his door. This will become increasingly true. That means that we're going to have to work hard. We're going to have to burn the midnight oil sometime. We're going to have to take advantage of new opportunities. But we must set out to do our life's work so well that nobody could do it better. We must set out to do a good job. We must not seek merely to do a good Negro job. If you were setting out to be merely a good Negro doctor, a good Negro lawyer, a good Negro teacher, a good Negro preacher, a good Negro skilled laborer, a good Negro barber, a good Negro beautician, you have already flunked your matriculation exam for entrance into the University of Integration. We must get ready. We must set out to do a good job, and to do that job so well that the living, the dead, or the unborn couldn't do it better. As I've said so often, if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, go on out and sweep streets like Michelangelo carved marble. Sweep streets like Raphael painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music and like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. You can't be a pine on the top of the hill. Be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are.
Okay, Bobby, what made you select that particular speech?
Because, in my opinion, Street Sweeper spoke to the African American in that day and time. Because most of them were doing street sweeper type jobs. They were garbage collectors, custodians, janitors. They were operating the elevators when the elevators would go up and down at the hospitals and in the government buildings. And if they worked in the restaurant, they were dishwashers and cooks. So when Dr. King uttered the words, the street sweeper, he actually pulled the heartstrings of the black community. They could really understand what he meant. And he knew that they were talking to them. Because Dr. King was saying, in essence, you don't have a place to hide now. You have to bring excellence to the job. You're not going to find it on the job, but you have to bring it to the job. he says new opportunities will be opening to Negroes, meaning that a movement is going to take place. Changes are going to take place, and you got to be ready to meet the challenges and the changes that's getting ready to happen in the United States and abroad.
If Martin Luther King was living today, what do you think his message would be to the African American leadership of
I
this
think
day?
the message would be the same. That it's incumbent upon you to be the best leader you can be, the best doctor. And somewhere in the speech it says, if you're setting out to be merely a good Negro doctor, a Negro lawyer, a good Negro school teacher, he's saying that in that day and time, the job that Negroes did or the education that Negroes received was thought to be inferior to what other races receive. So he's saying that it's no longer good enough for you to be just a Negro lawyer, because that carries with it a connotation that your standards don't measure up to the white lawyer or the white doctor. So you've got to get away from mediocrity.
Okay. Now, Martin Luther King was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1929, and he attended Morehouse College. Am I correct?
Right.
What do you think sparked his drive to make change?
Okay.